All right, so we're here at Starbucks again to record shock therapy this week. And by the way, this table is a little bit shaky, so if you get a little motion sick, it's because my feet are on it and it's kind of going crazy. But anyways, we've been in the midst of our dating series, and last Wednesday, a couple days ago, I made the challenge to choose a no-touch policy. And one of the things that I had said in there, one of the statements I had made was that it would be contrary to what is taught to you by everything around you, by movies, by music, television, all that stuff. It teaches you something different. Well, today for shock therapy, I thought we'd talk about a verse and then kind of talk about how that plays into it, because we talked about how what your mind thinks about, then you end up wanting. So normally most of you don't want new shoes until you see somebody else with the new shoes. You're like, oh, those are sweet, dude. Now I want a pair. So normally what we see or what we think about then becomes a desire then to get that or to do that. So Philippians 4:8 says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, and then here's the key phrase, think on these things. So if there's any virtue, if there's any praise, if there's going to be anything done right, our mind needs to focus on those things that are honest, of good report, true, all those different things. That's what our mind needs to focus on, and honest and just and some of those other things. That's what our mind needs to stay focused on. Well, I took the liberty, because I'm just that kind of a mean guy, to read the lyrics to the top 5 songs. So Shake It Off, Bang Bang, Anaconda, Stay With Me, and then there's another one, All About That Bass by Megan somebody. Anyways, I went ahead and read the lyrics for all 5 of those songs. Number 1, all 5 of those songs have something to do with sexuality somewhere inside of them. Even All About, I thought, surely, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to say 4 out of 5 songs have something to do about sexuality, because All About That Bass, what in the world could that be talking about? But then after I read All About That Bass, it has something to do with sexuality. It's about sexuality. So, anyways, as I read through all 5 of those lyrics, I got to tell you something. None of those songs, if you're listening to them, is going to promote something that's true, honest, just, of good report. So then if that's true, then the other side of this is true, where if you're not thinking on those things, then there can't be any virtue. If you're going to protect your purity, if you're going to value it like the Hope diamond and protect it and put the glass case around it and armed guard and all those things, you need to be willing to make sacrifices to protect it. So number 1, think on the right type of things. And I'm here to tell you, I know it's terrible, because everybody's listening to the top 5. That's why they're the top 5, because everybody's listening to them. But if you're going to take a stance on your purity and what is right, then you got to think on the things that are virtuous. You got to think on the things that are honest, of good report, just, right. You've got to think on those things. Those songs do not promote that type of mindset. And you may say, well, I didn't really know what the words said. That's even worse, because you're singing the words and you don't even know what the words say. You're singing along with them, and then all of a sudden you're like, if you read it, you're like, oh, junk, I didn't realize I was even singing that. I just thought it was a cool tune. If you don't believe me, read through them. Literally read through them. But let me encourage you this week. What are you thinking about? What's on your mind? Is it things that are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, good report? Are those the type of things that are filling your mind during the week? Or are you filling it with something like Shake It Off, All About That Bass, Stay With Me, Anaconda, Bang Bang? Because it's a war. You can't fill it with good and bad. You're either going to have to fill it with one or the other. This week, I challenge you, what are you thinking about? What's on your mind? What do you meditate on? Do you meditate on people, on songs? Or are you about things that the Bible says to think on, so that there can be virtue and praise? I love you guys. Hope you have a great week.